having finally managed to get a decent result on the boot lid after God knows how many attempts, I'm now going to risk buggering it all up all over again. After much agonising, I've decided to put a racing stripe on. Now, I saw a video on YouTube where it was a custom car with a really nice racing stripe which appeared to be under a layer of the base coat, so it just kind of shone through in a really nice way. So I thought we were going to do that. So I had a bash at that when I had the boot lid in the garage being sprayed, but it didn't really work all that well because I'm not a custom paint sprayer. I'm a first go amateur. I put the colour of the stripe on and then sprayed a layer of blue over the top. It was still a bit patchy, so I sprayed another layer on, by which time of course the stripe completely disappeared, so that didn't work. So I've now finished with the base coat, so I'm going to put the stripe on the top and then clear coat over the top of that. So the first thing I've got to do is do the masking up. One of the reasons for wondering about whether to do the stripe, and maybe changing my mind, was when I put the boot lid back on the car, what I realised was, this being a British car, the boot lock, which is central to the boot, I've measured that, doesn't line up with the filler cap. So when I put the stripe up the middle, one or other of those is going to be very slightly off centre. And that was what put me off doing the stripe. But it's going to be quite a wide stripe, so maybe we'll be okay. The plan is it's going to be basically the width of an A4 sheet of paper. So what I've done for my marking out is mark the centre line on a piece of A4. That is going to line up with the boot lock, like that. And then I'll use a square to make sure that it's going up straight, and then I'll lay my tape on the top after that. Make sure it's pushed well in there. And that. Okay, so I think we're there. I've had to measure, re-measure, measure again. So I've gone from the centre line here. We've also measured from the edge. Made sure these gaps are similar and as equal as we can get them, going all the way up. We're in a straight line there. I've measured from the edges at the top, up there. Look, where's my finger? Up the top to the edge. Dink. So from here to here, from here through to here, from here to here, from here to here, from there to there, there to there, there to there, there to there. And I've measured from my centre lines as well. I've had a centre line at the top, up here. I had a piece of tape on there with the centre line, piece of tape there with the centre line, and it all appears to line up. So happy with that. I think we're straight. Finally, that's taken me an unfeasibly long period of time. That was yeah, probably an hour I've spent masking up, but it's worth taking your time because you really don't want to cock it up. Really don't want to cock it up. Right, get some paper on the sides, and then it's paint time. If the rain holds off, it's a bit miserable at the minute and cold. It's too cold, I think, for clear coat because it goes a bit misty. I've heard if it's too cold, so we'll get the colour coat on, the grey that I'm using for the stripe, and yeah, clear coat's gonna have to wait for another day, which is not ideal, but as long as we key it up, it should be okay. Okay, unfortunately the camera wasn't switched on when I did the actual spraying, so we missed that bit, but never mind, it's just, you know, spraying. Okay, so now that the spraying's finished, I've left it about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes just for us to clean the gun, and now I've got to try and get the tape off without damaging any of the work that I've done. So let's have a go, see where we get to. So where do we start? I think we start with the blue because you want to pull it across the bit that's painted grey in case any paint comes off. So we want to take this off before we get to there. You can see I've got a little bit of run over there where it went up. I obviously didn't have the paper tight enough, so I'm going to have to touch that in a little bit. Right. Okay, that's that. Better. Not looking too bad, that, to be honest. Yeah. For first go, alright, that's not too bad.